What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ready Gold Standard podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Matt Llewellyn and Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. We got a great show planned for you guys tonight. We are previewing the 49ers divisional round matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. A lot of us thought we weren't going to be here previewing this game, but here we are, guys. The 49ers are back. They took care of business last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, and now they are back to try to pull off the upset yet again. Before I toss over to my guys, if you're tuning in on X, do me a solid, hit like and repost. If you're tuning in on YouTube, do me a solid, hit like and subscribe. And make sure you subscribe to both channels, 49ers Live and Nothing But Niners. We appreciate all the support. Now they got that out of the way. Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Zach. Getting ready for this game. Unfortunately, these Saturday games are killing me, man. I always work every Saturday, so I'll be at work, but I'll try to catch as much of it as I can. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I love some people don't like facing our division opponents in the playoffs. I personally like it. It's usually it's 2 games, and if you split them, you want those bragging rights. So this is an opportunity to kind of little brother Seattle again. And after they kind of punched us in the mouth, it's time to counterpunch. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, very well said. Especially 2 weeks apart. I mean, the Seahawks didn't play a game last week. So, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Very happy that the Niners are in the position that they're in, man. It's been a phenomenal year. And let's keep adding cherries to the top of that Sunday. I can't wait to break this all down with you guys. We got some interesting stuff to go over, some interesting, injury report news. Some people were expecting certain players to be that shouldn't be expected and vice versa. And we might have a Matt rant off of something based off of that injury report. Who knows? This show is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into it all. I wanted to start, though. Matt, you weren't here when Zach and I kind of did that recap, and I wasn't there for most of it either. But I wanted to ask you, because we kind of felt like the Niners probably weren't going to win that last game.
Yeah.
Just your quick reflections on that game. I know it's been discussed ad nauseum by other people already, but it's our first time hearing from you since then.
Sure.
Pleasant surprise, and are we just riding with house money now, in your opinion?
I mean, I thought we were riding with house money to get to 12 wins, given everything that happened to the 49ers. So the fact of the matter is, Brock Purdy had a couple of bad interceptions, and, the Eagles jumped out to a lead, and it was all there for the taking. And, sometimes people will say you don't really win games, teams lose games. And this was definitely one that I felt like the Eagles lost. Yeah, it was not good, man. There were parts of it, Kittle going down. It kind of gave me flashbacks to the Super Bowl when Greenlaw tore his Achilles. So yeah, to me, it was more of an indictment on the Eagles and what they've been all season. I think they averaged something ridiculous, 10 points per game in the second half of games, or something dumb like that. They were terrible in the second half. It was not a well put together organization. And all of their ugliness came out, and in a way that they aren't together, the 49ers were together. So the 49ers took advantage in big spots. I thought that Kyle Shanahan's trick play call was a thing of beauty at the perfect right time. And I thought that he smelled blood in the water and was able to pounce on it. So as much as I would love to praise the 49ers for going out there and really getting a solid win per se, I thought that the Eagles kind of beat themselves too, if we're being honest. The 49ers, I think, are going to have to play a much cleaner game this week to beat Seattle.
I agree with that. I did think that while the Eagles' offense was putrid and kind of has that stagnant, I saw that if you remove the defense, their second half scoring as a team drops down to 7 points or something like that in the second half, like I said. So with that said, I thought the defense for the Eagles was still really, really good, as evidenced by the 2 interceptions. Now, to be fair, I think Purdy kind of gifted Quinyon Mitchell one. He kind of just threw up a ridiculous prayer for no reason to a guy that was covered. But I thought the defense was really good. And I was actually impressed with the 49ers offense ability to go out there with who they had and then losing Kittle and then still being able to overcome that. I mean, the very next play after Kittle goes down, Brock Purdy hits Juwan Jennings for a 45-yard catch and run. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. So it was really impressive. And I really did appreciate that sort of resiliency from them.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that enough. Just that play in particular. Like, I know the Eagle fans are like, oh, we got him right where we want him. And then Kyle goes for the gut punch. Matt talked about the trick play with the perfect timing, right? That was also perfect timing to let everybody know, hey, we're not done. And if you watch Juwan Jennings on the sideline, he's like, come on, we got this, y'all. Like, let's go, let's go. He's hyping up the team as he's running back to the huddle. That was exactly what the Niners needed at that moment right there. Like, we are not done because George isn't here. We still have threats out here. So that was good. That's all I got on the Eagles game, I promise.
Last thing, and then we'll move on to the Seahawks. That game, Sunday versus the Eagles, Brock Purdy notched his 4th Super Bowl game-winning drive. Sorry, playoff, not Super Bowl. Playoff game-winning drive in his career. He is 5-2 in the playoffs, in the postseason, so to speak. 4 of those 5 wins, he had a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter, and the 5th one was a 38-13 or whatever the hell the score was, belt to butt, since I see we're still under 10 minutes, of the Seahawks in his first ever playoff game in the wild card back in 2023, I think it was, or 2022, whatever year it was. That was a hell of a win. But the only 2 losses Brock Purdy has had in the postseason, one, his elbow got disconnected, and the other one was in overtime versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, so when you think about it, any game that Brock has started and finished, his team has had a score, had a lead at the end of the last time he touched the ball. Yeah. Like, even that Super Bowl loss, right? We had a lead when he got off that field. So he has never started and finished a game where his team didn't have a lead at the end.
I don't think he ever left the field trailing in that entire game. Every time he went out there, they were either tied or the 49ers were in the lead when he left.
Yep. So, I mean, Brock is clutch. You guys can sit there and try to make it sound like what you want. Like I said, I have a newfound respect for Brock Purdy recently. That one interception, like Zach said, was pretty, like, all right, come on, Brock, like, shake it off. Let's go, you know.
But it was impressive to see him do it. Like,
well, he had one thing to say. Did he have 2 in this game?
He had 2. They were the exact same throw. Both of them were the exact same throw to the left, about 12 yards out to Quinyon Mitchell. First, he was covering Sky Moore, and then the second one, he was covering Jake Tonjes. And the first one was a little more understandable. The second one, or sorry, vice versa. First one was worse. Second one was a little more understandable. Jake Tonjes did have some separation.
The one to Moore to me was bad.
Yeah.
The one to Tonjes, it almost looked like, was Tonjes supposed to like keep that route tight, or was he supposed to leak up the field? Because he was kind of leaking up the field, and he had separation in that leaking up the field, especially against somebody like Quinyon Mitchell, who's a corner, compared to Tonjes, who's a tight end. That gave him time to kind of catch back up and undercut that route. Also, it looked like he was holding. Like he
got away with
jersey. One. You got a tug, and then he kind of pulled himself back into position. And to say that didn't affect that separation also is a little bit disingenuous. So I think that the second one was not as bad. It almost looked like there was a small miscommunication. There was definitely should have been a penalty called, but
And something to be said, both for the Eagles offense and the Niners defense, 3 points off of 2 turnovers. So it was pretty amazing to see them kind of respond in that way. I keep seeing stats everywhere say it was a 2-0 turnover differential and the Niners still won somehow. The Eagles failed 2 fourth down conversions, attempts, I should say. Like, those are turnover. It's a turnover on down. I don't understand why it's 2-2. I mean, it makes the 49ers sound better, but in my opinion, the 49ers did get 2 fourth down stops. It just happened to be on downs, not fumble, interception, yada yada. So
and every head coach I've ever heard talk about turnover on downs, they consider that in their locker room as a turnover. Stat.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from our guy Scott WD. Matt and Mike are like the 2 angels, and I assume he meant devils, sitting on my shoulder, spitting facts. Between the 2, the truth can always be found. That's funny. Wonder which one is which.
All right. Well, I think Matt is usually a little more pessimistic than me, so I'm going to give him the devil.
Fair.
Not because you're white, I swear. Not because you're white and have red hair.
The white devil.
Mike, what the fuck, dude? I don't have. Oh, we just made it. I don't have red hair.
Your beard. What is that considered? Strawberry blonde?
No, it's going gray, brother.
That's and where do you see gray in your face? You've got the clearest camera on here. What are you talking about?
It's right here, dude. You can see it.
Oh, please.
To the point that where my daughter is asking me, "Daddy, what's in your beard?"
Baby powder.
Partially why I started why I clipped it shorter too. But yeah, no. Listen, look. Not red.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
Not red. You relax, sir. I'm not
right.
a goddamn ginger.
By the way, do you guys know that a redhead has never won the Super Bowl? Redheaded quarterback has never won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
49ers are playing one.
Oh really?
So Dalton has red hair.
I thought we were playing a pumpkin.
I mean, Sam Darnold has red hair. I said
He's,
Dalton.
I guess he's considered a ginger, right? He's got like a reddish brown.
I mean, he ain't the Dalton level of ginger.
No. He's not Red Rocket.
No.
All right, so this game, why don't we get right into the injury report? I'll pull it up here. We all know the biggest news this week was that Fred Warner was activated off of IR, and he had his practice window opened.
Practice window
returned.
opened. He's technically still on IR.
Right, you're right. That's the best way
Right.
to put it. They opened his practice window.
He doesn't count against the 53 yet.
Yeah. So he did return to practice yesterday. He was limited, and he looked good, by all reports. He was out there hopping around. He kind of just participated like as a walkthrough today. He didn't have his helmet, and he was ruled out. He's not going to be activated, with the caveat being that Kyle Shanahan said if the 49ers can make it to the NFC Championship game, he would be able to play. They're confident in his ability to play then. So let's get through this injury report. First, for the 49ers, Jair Brown is out with a hamstring injury. Wide receiver Jacob Cowing, questionable. He's good to go. They just don't really have the numbers to make it work to activate him to the active roster. Luke Gifford, questionable with a quad injury. Linebacker. Yeturgos Matos, he's good to go with a knee injury. He's had that limited participation and then no participation on Thursdays all year to manage his knee. Ricky Pearsall was a limited participant all week. Obviously, we know wide receiver. And he's questionable, but he says that he's very optimistic that he's going to play. Dominic Pooney, guard, ankle injury, full participant. He has no status, so he's good to go. Fred, obviously, like I said, is out. Keon White, he's been dealing with a groin and a hamstring. He was upgraded to a full participant today, and he has no designation, so he is good to go. Trent Williams, full participant both yesterday and today. No designation anymore. He is good to go. That's right. And linebacker D. Winters, limited all week. He is questionable to go versus Seattle with that ankle injury. Now for the Seahawks, tight end Elijah Arroyo, he's good to go with a knee injury. Other tight end AJ Barner, he's good to go with a hip injury. Safety Kobe Bryant, good to go with a knee injury. Tackle Charles Cross, he's good to go with a hamstring and a knee injury. Sam Darnold popped up today with an oblique injury. He's questionable, sure. Ernest Jones, illness, I assume he's good to go. Josh Jones is out. He is their backup tackle. Tyrese Knight, good to go with a shoulder injury. Cooper Kupp had a vet day. DeMarcus Lawrence was limited on Tuesday, full participant the last 2 days with an Achilles injury. Seeing that always gives me flashbacks to Dre Greenlaw, so I wish the best for him. Not just saying that like tongue-in-cheek, I really do. Jackson Smith and Jigba, good to go. Chaz Surratt, good to go. Leonard Williams, good to go. And Tariq Woolen, good to go. So why don't we start with the Niners? Anything pop out? Or Matt, did you have something to add?
Oh, no. We can start with the Niners. Yeah, listen. All on social media, people were freaking out. They're like, Fred's going to play. I'm like, he's not going to play. Like, maybe if they absolutely had to, he could play. But, like, you're talking about, you think he's going to be conditioned after 2 months of recovering from, like, not being able to walk. And then, 4 or 5 weeks or whatever of trying to get himself back into strength position to where he was before to just be at full strength. And you think 2 days of practice could give him the conditioning he needs to play in an NFL football game? It's like, come on, guys. It's like, come on. Let's be realistic. And it was just all over there. People were like pounding their chests, like, you still don't think he's going to play? And it's like, no, he's not. But you guys go off, though. Like, we've seen this time and time again. Just because they open the practice window doesn't mean that you're going to play. And I get it, right? Fred's a little different than a Jacob Cowing or somebody like that who has their practice window open. But at the same time, Kyle told you that they weren't even going to open his practice window. And then when they did, it was like, you got to know, like, they're doing it because that's what Fred wants to do. And if he can get out there, you didn't see anything with him in pads, no contact or anything like that. He was doing drills with the position group. So I don't know, man. I think you just gotta relax. He's traveling with the team, and I think the juice will be there enough. And hopefully the motivation of like, hey, if we do win this game, we get Fred back next week is enough to like really light a fire under everybody. So we'll see.
Yeah. Staying on Fred, I kept seeing Faithful saying, "Oh, come on, man! Like, let him play. He's back out there." He looked slow, and then when you see him hitting the sled, I didn't like the way that looked. And I kept saying that I've never seen anyone hit the sled off of one leg before, and that was the ankle. So maybe he was like trying to test it.
No, Mike. They have a different angle of it, and he's doing the same thing on the opposite way. He's out there fucking around.
No, I get that, and he still didn't look good, though. Is what I'm saying. I don't care if he was testing individual ankles.
He looked fine.
No, he looked slow. Listen, even Richard Sherman came out and said, "I never deleted the tweet or whatever you're talking about." He was correcting Brad Grant, but he was like, he is definitely moving slower, and he is favoring it. Like even Richard Sherman went out.
He was not favoring it, guys. Come on, what's he favoring? There's nothing to favor.
Fred is not up to par yet. There's a reason.
If the bone is healed, the bone is healed. Like if the bone is healed, the bone is healed.
So
that's
then
what
why
cracks
is he
me
out?
up in all
It's
this.
not an ACL. It's not that. It's not something that you necessarily need to. Once the bone is healed, it's healed.
Why is he out then?
Because he needs to condition. He needs to get back into condition. Because there's a difference between going out there and actually playing football and actually working yourself back up to, again, be at the previous physical conditioning that you were before. Like, all he's trying to do is get back to baseline. So injury rehab is essentially now over, and now he ramps up his football activity, and 2 days is not enough to get him ready from being. It's like, when the players show up to training camp, would you put them in a game 2 days later? No, you would not. They're not ready to be in a football game, and that's where we're at right now. So
you think it's more about like stamina than
it's conditioning,
speed?
It's conditioning. He hasn't even put on pads.
Right.
They're not going to do a full padded practice because they don't have the time because they're playing on a short week. You would expect a day, if they get past this, they would probably play on Sunday next week, and that would give them an extra day to do a padded practice. And then you get him out there. You see how he does with actual contact in like 11 on 11s, and then go from there.
Yeah. Now, I do like when you look at that injury report, the first 4 names, don't expect to see them. And that's honestly a blessing in disguise. I don't expect to see much from Jair Brown, although to start the game, he looked okay. And then it was like, oh, damn, like he's out. All right, so fine. I think Siegel came in, played well. I liked what I saw from the safeties. Gifford, I liked what I saw from our starting linebackers in that last game. I said it last show. I completely owe an apology to 49. What's his name again?
Wallow.
I owed him an apology, but I really like the combination of him and Kendricks out there. I mean, those guys they look the part. I think I would take those two over Gifford, and honestly, D. Winters. Like, I like that combination of what we had out there better than what I saw from Winters, Bethune. Like, those two guys look like they were meant to be out there, so I like that a lot. Cowing, I don't care if he was a full participant all week long. He's not going to play. Like, he's just not going to play. Kyle can't find anything positive to say about him at the podium, and they ask him every single week. He can't find anything positive to say about him. Yatur Gross-Matos, you guys know already. He's like the Deebo Samuel of the offense, right? Like, of the defense. 1 or 2 good plays, and it's like, oh man, I'm hurting again. Let me go to the side. Like, all right, like, I'm not expecting anything from
You're
him.
crazy.
I think that it gets interesting right after that. What are we going to get from Pearsall? You know what I mean? And then can Keon White come out there? Again, there's no designation for him, so I like that a lot because Keon has made some significant plays, even in that last game. I saw there was a play where he broke a double team to make a tackle for loss. It was very, very impressive. So I think it's the Pearsall thing. That's the real question. Everybody else, we're good. We're good on. This is a really good injury report for the 49ers. I know it's long, but I like what I'm seeing there.
I disagree on Gross-Matos. Is he like a 10-sack dude? Obviously not. But I still think that he is. What are the Niners working with? Like Darrell Taylor, I think is his name, was waived by Houston this week, right? And everyone's like, oh, the Niners are going to pick him up. And I had Seahawks fans, I mentioned, saying he's just another guy. You don't want him. The Niners only have just another guys. Like, that's all they have. So I get Gross-Matos wouldn't start probably on like 28 teams. But on this team, he starts, or he at least plays a good amount, and the 49ers need that production desperately. So I think they need whatever they can get out of him. So I'm happy with him. The other three I agree with 100%, and I do think that Marcus Siegel appeared to be an improvement over Jair Brown. And I think there was a pass either early in the second or late in the first that Jalen Hurts overthrew to A.J. Brown, where Jair Brown was still in. I think if Marcus Siegel's in there, he has the speed to close that gap and pick that off, because it landed probably about 3 to 5 yards ahead of everybody, and Jair Brown just kind of jogged it off. That could be a pick with Brown back there. He has some crazy closing speed, so I'm excited for him.
With Siegel
I have a
back
clip.
there,
With Siegel. I have a clip from Ricky Pearsall talking about going this weekend, and I'll get your guys' thoughts on that, and then we can talk. I believe I just had it. Well, let's get Grant's video, I guess.
PCL injury you got?
Toughest part is just being in and out, bro. Like, that's probably the toughest part, is like it just lingering around. You know, it's one of those injuries that it's not going to heal up until I'm fully rested and done, and I can't do that right now, obviously. You know, so just getting it back to being manageable. But yeah, just any explosive movements, honestly.
What's your confidence level that you will play on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. You know, I've been in through every practice this week, but I mean, yeah, you guys saw me practicing last week, but if you really saw me practicing, like, I couldn't really lift up my leg, you know, very well. So I know I was trying to get back, but this week it gave me a little bit more of optimism that I'm going to be playing this week, and yeah, I'm getting more confident.
To kind of follow up on that, is there any obstacle or mental obstacle that you have to kind of get over to just play mindless football out there, being that you've had to be in and out with this injury?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you just feeling pain over and over again, and then you have an injury that's lingering, yeah, you got to kind of work through that confidence thing and get it back. But that just comes down to, you know, how good can you get it to be feeling in the training room, and then when you step on the football field, excuse my language, they fucking go, you know what I mean? So that's just been my mindset every time I step on the field, and then, you know, doing everything I can in the training room.
Thoughts?
Who says "excuse my language" and then curses? That was my. That's my biggest
Usually do
takeaway.
it the other way around.
It cracks me
Yeah.
up too when they do that. They act like they're not like normal human beings that like curse, you know, like they're little schoolboys and stuff. Sorry, but you know, heck 'em. It's like, okay, bro, like come on. We know how you talk normally. We've heard you guys on the field. Sometimes that
All right.
camera gets awfully close to a touchdown celebration. And, yeah, I'm fucking here. I'm fucking here. You know, I'm fucking all day sucking my dick.
So
What are your
What
thoughts?
do we think? Is Pearsall going to play? I say
Why don't we give Matt the floor? Because I feel like he's been the biggest critique. What's the word I'm looking for? He's been the biggest dog against him.
critic.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
rightfully so. You called him out not playing for, what, the last 3 weeks now? 2 weeks? How long has it been? So what's your take on that, Matt?
I just think that at some point or another, nobody wants to hear you crying about you being in pain, dude. Like, play or don't play. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, bro, but you're fine. You're fine. I need to be completely done. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's just like I never hear other players cry, like just like I dogged Juwan Jennings when he was like, I'm playing with like a busted ankle and 5 broken ribs. It's like, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear it, dude. No one cares.
He's
Everybody
got
in that
16
locker room
broken
is hurt.
ribs.
Everybody in that locker room is hurt. Nobody cares, dude.
Right.
You know? And at this point, it's just like the stability of your knee is fine. It's literally a pain management issue at this point. The PCL is not going to explode on you. You're not at any serious risk. And by the way, if you want it not to hurt, stop falling directly on your fucking knees when you get tackled, dude. Just go down on the side. You know? I don't know, man. I'm annoyed with it. I'm done. I'm done talking about it at this point. I just don't.
Do you think he plays?
Yeah, he's gonna play, and then he'll be out for the NFC Championship game.
Zach, what do you think?
I think he plays, but I think, Mike, we talked about this on Sunday night. I'm not sure how much you remember, but we talked about it, and I said not only was it a bad look, but it was an extra bad look juxtaposed to Trent Williams talking about how he was going to go regardless when he had just pulled his hamstring for the first time 2 weeks prior, or a week, not even 2 weeks, a week prior, right? No, it was 2 weeks because it was the Bears game.
It was before yeah.
And he was like, how much could I give? I don't know, but I was going to go out there and give it until my leg couldn't go anymore. And he went out there and he played well for the most part. I mean, did he struggle with a couple of reps? Sure. but he was going up against like a top 5 defensive line in Philadelphia. That's bound to happen. So Trent Williams is going out there off a fresher injury, talking about how he's never dealt with before. I mean, to be fair, Ricky had never dealt with a PCL either, but older.
What do you mean? He's been dealing with it for like 4.5 months.
Well, considering this is the first time all in one season.
I've had relationships that last less long than that, bro.
So I thought the
4.5 months is half a pregnancy, dude.
Yeah. Made it look really bad that he couldn't go. He couldn't suck it up. The thing that bugged me the most, we talked about this on the preview show. You couldn't even go out there and dress and just be a fucking decoy, right? Like you couldn't even go out there. We talked about this a couple seasons ago with Brandon Ayuk, I think, when he was dealing with some injury. And we said he's going to go out there and he's going to run routes, at least take a DB away from the rest of the wide receivers. And sure enough, that's what he did. He wasn't 100%. He could barely go, but he went out there, he dressed, and he was a decoy.
Right.
Couldn't even get that out of Ricky Pearsall. When we saw what the spacing looked like without him versus the Seahawks the last time, that was the most frustrating. I think he will play Saturday night.
I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this. I remember back in the day, Jerry Rice tearing his ACL against Tampa Bay, and then later in the season coming back against the Broncos, and he wanted to play so badly he put on a big-ass knee brace and then busted his kneecap in that game because he wanted to. So I'm just like, dude, PCL, like, fuck outta
well, what
here,
about
man.
Terrell Owens breaking his leg and then going off in the championship game?
Right.
Yeah.
Same situation, you know. That's one of those things where I'm just like, listen. And I know exactly how this is going to play out. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but the first or second catch that Ricky Pearsall gets is going to be 48 degrees in Seattle, and they play on artificial turf. He's going to fall down directly on his fucking knee and then be in and out for the rest of the game. And then if they make it past Seattle, he's going to miss the NFC Championship game.
I don't think he's going to play. I'll be the only one to say it. That's fine. I'll be the lone wolf on this one. I don't think he's going to play, mainly because of how he hesitated. So right at the very end, they were like, so how confident are you that you're going to play? And he's like, and right there, that told me the coaches are like, do not say you don't think you're going to play. That was like, let me pull in what they're telling me to say. I'm pretty confident I'm going to play. It was that pause, that hesitation right at the very end of that clip. It was like, yeah, he's probably not going to play.
Now,
he can't say
here's my question, Zach. How are you going to feel about Ricky Pearsall if he doesn't play this Saturday? Does it change? Does it change your defense of him like you had last week?
Well, we've already done. That was again before the Seahawks game, right? Like I thought for sure he was going to go. We played the Seahawks game and the Eagles game without him, so I'm kind of already. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, but you defended him pretty tough, like pretty stoutly.
Because I was under the belief he was going to play the next fucking day.
And then he let you down.
Right. I mean, even Mayoko was shocked. Mayoko was like, he practiced all week. Yes, was he limited?
I know.
There's like conflicting reporting whether or not the Niners actually practiced that week, or whether it was just walkthroughs because it was a short week for the third week in a row. But regardless, the beat writers, the most tapped in with the team, like Mayoko, were shocked when that injury designation came out Saturday afternoon that he was out. And it wasn't even like a game time decision. It's not even like he went up to the field, tried giving it a go, and he couldn't. It was like noon on Saturday, and they're like, no, he can't go. He's not going. So that was unfortunate. And I do think that at a certain point, dude, you just got to fucking nut up. Like, you just got to go. And you're never going to be 100%. We're in week, 19 at this point?
19 of the season, yeah. Week 20.
Week 20. Who is healthy? Yes. Who is fully healthy right now? Maybe Eric Kendricks because he got here a month ago. Maybe Garrett Wallow because he got signed after Christmas. Like,
well, dude, here's the perfect example. What was it? Do you guys remember another injury that people were talking about that a player would have to deal with all season? Oh, that's right. Brock Purdy and his turf toe. We haven't heard shit.
Yep.
Because when he finally came back, it was like, oh, okay, no, I'm going to come back this time. And rather than do week in, week out, they tried that one time. And then what'd they do? Hey, you need to sit out until this shit like really feels better. I would have rather had not have Ricky for like half of those later season games. And I know that makes a difference or whatever, but they need him now. So he better play.
Mike, you really don't think he's going to play?
I don't. It's just his body language when she asked him at the very end. That very last part just seemed really important to me. It's just like I said, that hesitation was, to me, that was more telling than his actual answer.
I think that caught him off. I think the question caught him off guard personally.
The whole line of questioning was about his availability and practice and pain tolerance and all that stuff.
The first question was, what's the most difficult thing you've had to deal with his injury? I think the second question was about.
He was like,
Are you still
the second
there?
part was the second question was about whether or not
mental.
He was like, you guys saw me practicing last week, but if you saw, I could barely lift my leg.
Right.
This week it's much better, but like I'm out there, like, so I look different
My
this
man
week.
said I could barely lift my leg. Oh my
Right.
That's what he said.
Right. It's like, dude,
well, listen,
like, come on.
I listen, Mike. I think you're giving him too much. Right. When choosing between idiocy or malice, take idiocy. Ricky Pearsall is not exactly a Rhodes Scholar. Okay, he's
Talking
not out
Arizona
there
State here.
waxing. He's not Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman's going to give you an eloquent answer, well thought out, everything else. Ricky is a young kid who went to college in fucking Florida. And before that was at Arizona State, which is like one of the biggest party schools in the nation. I'm not exactly depending upon him to quote me Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that he's that well media trained yet, to be honest, to be able to give a team answer, as it were. You know what I mean?
There you have it. Angel and devil on the shoulder there. There it is right there.
Yeah.
I just want to say
Speaking of,
there's a
go
typo
ahead.
in this chat, and it's cracking me up. Bethune and Winters also struggled getting off tackles. Last week we saw Kendricks and Wallow get off blacks and made tackles. I think you meant to say get off blocks, but yes,
Come on.
I agree with you.
That was
David.
autocorrect. We got you, David. We got you. We did miss another super chat, by the way. I don't know if you guys want to get to it now or get to it later. It was, there you go, right there. It's the second one, right?
Our guy Scott. Scott says,
Yeah.
an angel tells you what you want to hear. A devil tells you what you need to hear. Fans
I'm the
need
devil in
both.
this situation. He's not playing. I'm the devil in this situation. Embrace it. Embrace it.
Also, we got a third super chat from our guy Scott.
Damn, dude. Hold on. There we go.
Killing it. Ronnie Lott amputated his broken finger to play in the playoffs. Ricky plays or trade meet offseason.
Yep.
If they weren't as desperate at wide receiver, I would agree with you. But I do
I'm not
think
going
that
to trade him,
it'll
but I think
make them reprioritize how they see him.
Well, I think that you realize that, okay, he might not be a guy that we can rely on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, we need a wide receiver 1. Ricky can be the 2, right?
First round receiver.
God, I hope not, man.
I think it's
They need to go
inevitable at this
tackle.
point.
They have to go tackle, man. They have to go tackle. Trent's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, I don't think they go wide receiver first round, mainly because of something Kyle said a couple of weeks ago. Like, Ayuk's still under contract next year. I don't care what the discrepancy and all that stuff is. I'm just telling you what Kyle said. This isn't my opinion. I don't think that they're just going to let him go. I was watching highlights of and again, there are highlights, so they're supposed to
retire.
look good,
Yeah.
right? But I was watching highlights of Ayuk today, and we have no one that can run routes like Brandon Ayuk. I'm sorry. As much as people think Ricky Pearsall is a good route runner, Brandon Ayuk is like head and shoulders above the cut of anybody on this roster. And so if they force him to stay and he comes out there and plays next year, we're getting something out of him.
Can I push
I'm telling
back?
You like that. Sure, please.
Were you comparing Brandon Ayuk's first 16 games to Ricky's first 16?
It was career highlights. It was a long 22.
Brandon wasn't BA in those first 2.5 to 3 years. He
Right.
got really, really elite. I want to say his last year and a half at route running. He was probably top 3 route runner in the NFL up until he got hurt. But
Right.
I think it took him
Bring
some
it back.
time to get to that page. So I would
He's
hope.
there.
Well,
Well,
and
he
I
was
told
That's
you,
my point,
prior to
is that he's
injury. He
there.
was prior to injury.
yeah, he's not going to be that afterwards. That
Wait.
unhappy triad is not a joke.
Hold on.
That
We
knee
can't say that
injury
he's
is
not
hard
going
to
to be
come
that.
back from.
He went from
not.
the maximum angle sign to the minimum angle sign. That was his knee. Greater than and less than is what I'm trying to say. That's how his knee went.
A straight ACL maybe, but when you got ACL, MCL, and meniscus, like that's super tough to come back from. You're not going to reach 100%. You might get 90, 95, but that 10% is a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. My thing with Brandon Ayuk was coming out of school that I think he had a hamstring injury or something, and he still ran the 40 and didn't run it at its best. And I'm like, he's faster than what you guys think he is.
Yeah.
But some of that speed is going to be diminished because of the knee injury. But I'm fully with you, by the way, Mike. I hope that the 49ers petty the hell out of this thing and just keep him under contract. You either come
As
play
do
for
I.
us or you're not going to play football anymore.
Or you're not going to play. Yeah, I agree with that part. The last thing I want to say about Ayuk, though, is less about the speed and more about the routes. The route stem that
Perry,
Brandon
we're
Ayuk
going to
runs.
ban you for that comment, bro.
This one?
No.
Is Oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say
I'm
what?
behind.
No, the power plant one.
Oh, let me go. Let me catch up.
Oh God. Oh God. I can only imagine what it says.
The team has been practicing there since 1988.
Did you see Washington
until the
posted an
Shanahan-
article on it today?
Washington Post, yes. By the
Idiots.
way, the entire planet is a massive geothermal magnet. It creates its own electromagnetic field. That's why we have an atmosphere. Anybody pushing this theory is in like under 100 IQ territory. They probably have relations with the first cousin. You should not listen to these people. Chase Sr. being top of the list.
What cracks me up is, sorry, Mike, real quick. The Washington Post article is talking about how there are players that were contacting their agents. And it's like, well, I obviously don't buy into this theory, but are some players sub IQ that maybe will and won't sign here? Maybe.
They're
I don't
fucking
know.
football players.
1000%.
They're not
Yes,
surgeons. Yeah, they're football
1000%.
players.
Yes.
They're supposed to do that, right? That I expect that from football players. You know what I mean? Like it's like asking Frank Gore for medical advice. Just go play football. Like you're gonna get the most Neanderthal answer from Frank.
Why'd you gotta do
Love Frank to
like
death. Come on. Did you see him on the podcast recently? Like when he was talking to Shady and
I did. He
and-
told them that we beat the
yeah.
fuck out of him. That was
we beat
funny.
the fuck out of him. Like, yeah, but he couldn't even say that all the way. Like, he Cheetos. Like, my wife told me years ago, Frank Gore looks like all he thinks about is Cheetos, and I can't unsee it. But anyways,
The man took 20 years of hits to the head. Give him a break.
I'm not mad at any publication that wants to talk about it because publications' jobs are to get clicks, and Niner fans are going to click and eat all of that shit up. We are one of the most polarizing fan bases, and we're going to read anything ultra positive and ultra negative concerning this team, and that's just what those publications are going to do. But there's people who get paid a lot more money than any of us on here combined to break down those kind of analytics and all that stuff. And if it was something that was dangerous, I promise you guys they would have changed Fields by now. The franchise has enough money to do that.
They've been
You know
there
what
since
I mean?
88, right? They've been
Yep.
practicing right there since 88.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yep.
it's not new.
Despite some people saying that it's not true, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. They've been there since 88. They were always in Santa Clara. Like my dad used to take us to go. There used to be an overhang
practice.
that you could
Yeah.
see at the park and watch them
Yes.
practice. My dad used to take
Yes.
us in Santa Clara. And I remember
Yes.
thinking like, wow, that's strange. They play in San Francisco, but they practice like, because we live a lot closer to Santa Clara. And I'm like, well, that's good for us. And they've always practiced there. They've always practiced there.
Dude, there's weirder than that. The Cowboys used to come to Southern California to do their training camp.
Oxnard, they still do. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no,
They
now
still do.
They do, right?
I think
yeah.
they still do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do in the off. Yeah.
They come to Oxnard.
Yep.
So the whole thing is weird. I would much rather them, like this comment kind of says, revamp the whole strength and conditioning team. Like I know they replaced one dude a couple of years ago.
They did that in 2019.
Well, it didn't work. Do it again.
I'm telling you guys, the uptick in injuries coincides to Kyle Shanahan getting here. It's something about the way Kyle Shanahan practices that gets them injured. Whether they practice too much certain things or not enough of other things. And I'm not trying to blame Kyle in particular, but I mean, you can see the uptick. Before he got here, we were below league average in injuries.
So, and that's part of Kyle's upbringing, right? Like he comes from the two-a-days and all that shit era. Like I know that they weren't allowed to do it when he became a head coach, but that's the era that he came up in. You got to remember who his dad was and how they practice, and that's what Kyle grew up around. And so I think that he views how the practicing rules are now as a bunch of soft shit, and that's why I think this game is going to be drastically different than how Week 18 was. Right? When you watch how Week 18 went, Kyle came straight out and said it. We played 3 games in 13 days. I keep trying to do the math on it and like look at the calendar, and I keep forgetting to do it. Kyle keeps saying we played 3 games in 13 days. I don't know if that's accurate, but he doubled down on it again this week and said that again. So he said basically going into the Week 18 matchup, it was all walkthroughs. He was like, it was just all walkthroughs because of how much we had been playing in such a short time. So this week they're actually having padded practices. They're going
It's 3
full
games
speed.
in 13 days.
Yeah. So
yeah, they played
so
Sunday
he's right.
night. They played Sunday night football.
21st.
Then Then they played just last Sunday, and then they played Saturday. So it's 3 games in 13 days.
Well, no, wasn't it Sunday, Monday, Saturday?
Sunday.
Or no,
Monday,
sorry,
Saturday.
Monday, Sunday, Saturday. That's what it was. Monday,
Oh yeah,
Monday,
Sunday.
Sunday,
Monday,
Saturday,
Sunday,
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Monday, Sunday, Saturday. So
And-
that's
and-
yeah.
And just, so he's saying, like, that's why the Seattle game. Well, he's not saying that's why. Kyle would never make that excuse. But I do think that having a real week of practice this week will help the Niners out a lot.
And can we just talk about how that's horseshit? By the way, can we I get it. You don't want the two number one seeds to get like extra days or whatever, but like put both of those. I don't know, man. I just think when you have the Rams and the Bears who both played on Saturday playing on Sunday, they get an extra day of rest. And then the Niners who played Monday night, then Sunday have to go back and play Saturday. Like
Saturday.
And
yeah,
by the way, the
it's
Sunday
weird.
night game, they were the night game on Sunday. So it's like, what are we doing, dude? Or
Right.
like,
It was
I guess like
almost
the
Monday,
after,
yeah.
like late afternoon, but like,
What
they were
cracks me up too is like the Seahawks fans are like, it's always been like this. The number one seed always gets an advantage. It's been like that for 5 years. My dog's older than that. Like it's been like that for 5 years. It hasn't always been like that.
Right.
And it's not.
But back in the day, it'd be number one and number
right.
two.
And if it
got
was
bye week.
always like that, then why would we have to wait until Monday night to get the schedule? It would make we would already know who's
Right.
going to play and when they're going to play. It's
Exactly.
just a matter of that last AFC game.
I hate to tell it. There's a lot of like conspiracy theories about the NFL that aren't true, but 100% they probably use the Q score to see which game was going to be like the most watched for each like day and tried to balance it out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
you know.
doubt that at all. Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence when they showed even just last week's games, they showed like the later the games got, the more viewers. I mean, we were first place with a bullet. We were 40-something
4.1,
million.
41
the next
million, yeah.
closest, The next closest was like 28 million, and the one before that was like 22 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they do that for the views. You know what I'm saying? So when you have East Coast versus West Coast, you can have the whole country watching. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
as opposed to two West Coast teams or two East Coast teams and all that. That's why they do it that way.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch any boxing for the first time on a Saturday in a long time because I was so locked in to NFL football in general. But the primetime boxing happened Saturday night, and I was obviously locked into the game. There was no way I was watching boxing. So,
Yeah.
All right.
What's crazy to me is that you would think like you would want to save I don't know, man. Are you telling me that Texans Patriots probably the lowest one, right? But you think that Bears and Rams is going to be that much more of a TV game than 49ers Seahawks or even Buffalo Denver? Because if you want to flip, right, I think Buffalo Denver and Rams Bears would actually balance out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Seahawks Niners is going to be the most watched game of the weekend.
Agreed.
I think the least watched game of the weekend is going to be Texans and Patriots. Nobody cares about that fucking game, except people in Houston and
that's
people
going
in
to
New
be a
England.
defensive struggle.
Right,
Probably
it's
much
gonna
like
be
what our game is
boring.
probably going to be, honestly.
It's going to be like the first half of the Texans Steelers game where nobody was scoring. Wasn't it like 6-3 going into the third quarter
Something
or whatever?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they want the highest game on Saturday night because everybody's home, right? Even on Sundays, it's like, people got to go to bed and whatever. But come on, man. You just like complete disregard for the 49ers. And by the way, I kind of felt like Kyle knew it too at the press conference when he was like, yeah, maybe the league will be cool and let us play on Sunday. Like he already knew like they're not going to be cool.
They asked him about it. He was like, the league's like super cool about it. They're understanding. They'll schedule the game on a Sunday, knowing that we just had like 3 short weeks back to back to back.
And Roger Goodell pulled the Dave Chappelle. He sent that schedule out and then he was like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yeah.
And knocks the cup over and runs.
Yeah. It is what it is, honestly. It kind of reminds me of last week when everybody was talking about the ref, Alan Eck, and how the Eagles are 8-1 against him or with him and yada, yada, yada. He's an Eagles fan. And at first I was like, man, that's fucking annoying. And then I text the chat. They're either going to win the game or they're not. And it's not really going to, they're either going to overcome not having Ricky, Kittle going out, and this biased ref reportedly, or they're not going to win it. So they took care of business, which kind of reminds me of this Saturday. They're either going to go out there and take care of business or they're not. I'm not going to chalk it up to being on a short week. I'm not going to chalk it up to any of this shit. So let's get into the offense, right? The Seahawks offense.
And this is why we got to stop paying attention to those kind of stats. Last thing, and then we'll get right to it.
Oh, they're
Niners
doing
had
it again
one-
with Hussey this year. Or
Oh,
with
yeah,
this
I
game.
know. But the Niners had one accepted penalty against them that entire game.
Right.
No one's talking about that. This is with the hometown guy, and he's going to call it for the Eagles. And they had 7, we had 1. So like we got to stop with these crazy stats that just, you know.
Okay,
The
hold
only-
on. Aldo, you said this last week. I picked the 49ers to win. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I called the Niners. I think I was the only one here. Mike picked the Niners to win because he couldn't pick the Eagles. And I'm pretty sure Matt picked the Eagles to win.
Matt said no.
Matt-
Oh,
No,
you're right. You're
I'm
right.
talking
You're
about
right. You had an
entire-
apocalypse.
Yeah.
I picked it.
Yeah,
I was the only one that
apocalypse.
outright picked a win. So I don't know. You said the same thing last
Yeah.
week. I don't know what
Right.
you're talking about. Maybe there's
My
another
answer was a
Zach on
tongue
here.
in cheek. But I will say this: Matt and I both started the week with, the season's done. Like it was a good. It was fun while it lasted. We both
Right,
started the week
right.
that way. I changed my mind as the week progressed.
Well, Mike, what's the outro on your Nothing But Niners?
Prepare for glory, anticipate pain,
Exactly.
but always remain faithful.
Right. And that's exactly
Yep.
just what it is. We could sit here and be like, hey man, like if both nobody can tell me going into last week that if the 49ers and Eagles both played to 100% of the potential with the rosters as they were constructed, that the Eagles would not have won that game.
Right. And the Eagles being home. Yeah, like the Niners shouldn't have stood a chance. But
Right.
that's why you play the game, baby.
But again,
that's why
and
you
that's
play the
why I
game.
say teams lose games more often than teams win games, in terms of like a team will lose a game rather than a team goes out there and just brute forces somebody. You know, in a blowout, yes, you brute force somebody, right? But in close games, it always seems to come down to,
blown
a
assignments,
team
drop passes.
right? Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what they.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they were doing.
Even going back to the 49ers, a couple of Super Bowl losses, right? They lost those games more than Kansas City just straight up took it.
Yeah.
So
So last time the 49ers played the Seahawks, obviously we know they only scored 13 points. Should they have scored more? Sure, but they didn't. Do you guys think the running game was the biggest problem for the 49ers to stop? Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet were churning and burning on the ground like crazy. 49ers had 18 missed tackles in that game.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Flip forward a week versus the Eagles, Kendricks and Wallow combined for, I believe,
21
zero
and
missed
22 and
but
no
zero
missed
missed tackles, right?
Yep.
So they were completely different. I'm a little worried if D. Winters gets the start over Wallow, but that's okay. Maybe they could sprinkle in anyway. What do you guys are expecting out of this defense against the Seahawks running game come Saturday night? More of the same, or do you think we'll get a more improved rushing defense? Matt?
I liked what I saw out of the defense last week. Wallow especially, I thought there was a couple of plays where there was one where he had like the defensive end kick out, and it's like, dude is coming in and knowing the playbook well enough to, that always gives me hope, right? Because at least that somebody who knows the playbook that well is going to be in the right spot.
Yeah.
And we don't always have that. I also like Siegel being in there just because of Zach. You touched on it in the passing game, but I also think that run stuffing comes down to being able to fly up and fill a gap when you need to. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to throw a lot of shade at Jair Brown, but he's kind of slow. And that's been a Niners problem with the safeties in recent years, is that they're slow. Siegel's not slow. Siegel's fast. Siegel's like a legit low 4.4 guy who's going to go out there and fly. Didn't he run like 4.3s?
I'm pretty sure he's a 4.3 guy, like 4.39
Yeah,
or something.
I mean,
like that,
he's fast.
4.37,
He's
something like
fast.
that, yeah.
And, again, if you can get sound tackling, that's going to, you have to know your assignment. You have to get to where you need to be, and you have to be sound tackling. And if they could do that, they can slow up this running game. And I think that they should go all in on trying to stop the running game and make Sam Darnold beat you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And that's where it gets scary, and to double up on what Matt was saying about Siegel versus Brown. And you guys know how I ride for Brown, right? But even with tackling ability, just straight tackling ability, Brown will get caught throwing shoulders. And, one thing that Siegel does really well, he'll go to wrap up, and then he'll come all the way down the leg and grab that ankle. He's not going to let you go. Where Brown, people seem to be able to slip out of that ankle tackle and keep going. Siegel does that better than Brown as well. Both of them are really good downhill and when the play is in front of them. They're both really good and willing to get in there and lay some wood, right? But Brown lets people slip out of his tackles. Siegel's a much better tackler than what Brown is. So this game is going to favor us a lot more. Again, we didn't have Kendricks and Wallow out there when we played them before. I like that combination. I talked about that already. And I'm specifically focusing on run defense. I think that we are going to be significantly improved in this game, especially because also this is tackling 18 missed tackles is indicative to me of walkthroughs all week long versus full padded practices. Sorry, but the first time you get hit for real, it's like, oh, God, it's going to be a long week. And that just played out throughout the course of that game. This week, we're tackling for real. We're wrapping up. We're really taking people to the ground this week. It's going to be different. These guys are building that callus. The playoff callus is here, and they're ready to play. And you got to be encouraged by what they did against Saquon Barkley as well. I mean, they did have 140 rushing yards, right? So it's not like we did absolutely nothing against Saquon Barkley, right? But he had 106 on 26 attempts.
It was looking like it was going to be 200, right?
Well, the first two drives, right. I feel like he had like 60 yards rushing in the first two drives.
He did. He had like a 40-yard run on that like third play of the game or something like that. I think that the 49ers defense is going to look much improved. Did they get Fred Warner back on the field? No, but that doesn't matter. Eric Kendricks, you saw the second half alone when Eric Kendricks went out there in week 18. The defense looked better. Eric Kendricks, just simply by being a 10-year vet, at least understands the game a lot more than Tatum Bethune at this stage of his career. The speed from Siegel, whether it's Wallow or Winters, they're great too. I loved the way Wallow and and Kendricks were communicating. Matt, you talked about him smacking, I think, Gross Matos into the correct gap, but they were also communicating to each other. It looked like fucking prime Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman out there. It was amazing. I haven't seen that since Greenlaw and Warner. So the fact that they both just got here, that was the first game that Wallow had started. And I think I saw a guy Herberman say, like, he's been in the league for 62 weeks where there's been NFL games. And out of those 62 game weeks, this is the first time he's ever played. And he played great. I mean, he was great in coverage. He was great against the run. I agree with you, Matt. Sam Darnold has yet to throw a touchdown versus the 49ers this year in either game. He didn't throw one the first week. He didn't throw one this week. Will he throw one Saturday? Probably. But make him do it. I'm not saying that streak's going to continue. I'm saying force him to do it. Because we all know how the playoffs went for him last year. I'm not saying that that's who he is always going to be, but you have to force that out of him. And I think the 49ers are desperately due for a turnover, an interception. And if you remember, Renardo Green had one. He just couldn't get that second foot in. He was dying to give the game away. He had the fumble that somehow Gross Miles couldn't come up with. Renardo Green had the interception, only got one foot down. I think this game is going to be about Robert Saleh versus Clint Kubiak or Clay Kubiak, I forget which one they have. And then obviously Shanahan versus McDonald.
They have Clint.
They have Clint.
Clay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clint the Clit. So I think that what Saleh needs to do is just stay home on your shit, because I thought they played an okay game on defense week 18. It needs to be much better. It needs to be much cleaner. And like everybody said, they got embarrassed at home in front of like 40 million people. So what are you going to do? Do you guys want to flip it to the Niners offense?
Well, another thing that the Niners have in their favor here, the defense is coming off of a pretty impressive performance, right? This game in particular with the Eagles, it was a get right game for someone's struggling side of the ball. The Eagles' offensive struggles versus the Niners' defensive struggles, right? It was going to be a get right game for somebody, and the Niners answered that bell. So now the defense is like, see, guys, we can control the run. All right, we can stop guys from rushing for 240 yards on us, right? Look, it is possible, right? We can do that with these guys out here. We can stop teams for throwing for 400 yards on us, right? Like Jalen Hurts finished the game with 168 passing yards, dude.
On 35 attempts.
Right. So it's like we can do this, guys. We can force incompletions. We can force turnovers. Like, we can stop teams on downs. Like, this was a momentum-building moment for the team. Flip it to the Seahawks. Yes, they're well rested, but that offense is going to be out of rhythm now. That offense is going to take a couple of drives to get things cooking and get things going. And so we have to take advantage of that, where we can come out and maybe perhaps start early, right? Maybe if we can get things going early. We remember that opening drive, that fourth down play that Matt broke down really well when we showed that, right? It was I believe it was fourth down on the opening drive, right? And there was a Sky Moore streaking up the left side, and we just didn't have enough time to get there, right? Trent Williams is back in there now, right? Like, this is going to be a difference maker right here. Like, this game is going to be a lot different than what that last game was. If we can take advantage of what Kyle has in his what's it called when you have the predetermined plays?
Installs?
What's that? But there's another term I'm looking for. But yeah, it's like
scripted
plays. That's it. Yeah, like if Kyle can get in his bag in those scripted plays, and we can score on those first 2 drives while that offense is getting back into rhythm of things. Advantage Niners, because now Sam Darnold has to throw the ball a lot more. Now all of a sudden, how many passing yards or passing attempts did Sam Darnold have in the game against us last time?
I can't imagine it was more than 25.
Let me see here. Week 18, Sam Darnold had 26, 198 yards. So, I mean, like that right there, you can force that number up. I mean, they rushed for 180. They rushed for 180
and that's
pass
the
for
thing.
181.
And Darnold was so efficient because of the fact that they were able to rush for 180 yards. Because there was no pressure on him. He got to make easy throws because the 49ers had to jump into the box to try to stop the run. And then all of a sudden, you got gaps in the intermediate level of the field, and Darnold's just able to pick it apart, you know? And so you gotta stop the run early. And part of that's on the offense, too, to be honest. The 49ers have to go out and get points and put pressure on Seattle to make them throw the ball.
Yep. No more 3 and outs.
Right. And that's going to be a tough task. But again, I think that the Philadelphia game, that wide receiver pass, the double reverse to, with the pass, Kyle needs to do more of that. Get in your bag, dude. Get in your bag. This is the time. You have nothing to lose. You literally have nothing to lose. This should be a game where Kyle is incapable of outcoaching himself.
Yes.
Because it's like we shouldn't have even gotten this far. I'm shocked we got this far. Let me just, all right, pressure's off. Like, let me get into my bag of tricks and see what we can pull out. So I'd love to see that.
I agree with that. We talked about the running game. We talked about Darnold. The receivers, we obviously know the Seahawks have one of, if not the best receiver in the league this year in Jackson Smith and Jigba. He only had, I say only, but 84 receiving yards on 6 receptions the last matchup. He has not caught a touchdown to Deommodore Lenoir. Maybe that'll change Saturday. We obviously heard all the chirping going back and forth. I thought Lenoir held his own against Smith and Jigba once the tape came out and we were able to watch all 22. What do you expect from the Seahawks wide receivers, Matt? You got Njigba, Cooper Kupp. I think their rookie, Torrey Horton, is still out for the year. They have the big tight end, Barner, that they go to a lot. How much, compared to the Eagles wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, would you say this is a tougher group or about the same to cover? How do you compare them?
I mean, the Eagles' weapons are far superior to what the Seahawks have. Jackson Smith and Jigba might be a better total overall wide receiver, but when you break it down to me, when I'm looking at Dallas Goedert, I'm looking at Devontae Smith, I'm looking at Saquon Barkley out of the backfield, I'm looking at A.J. Brown. That's a better set of skill players to me than what Seattle's boasting. Yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba's exceptionally good, but the running back position, combine them, I don't think they're as good out of the backfield in the passing game as what you're going to get out of Saquon Barkley. They don't have a number 2 that's going to compare to a Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown or whoever you consider the number 2. And I mean, you can say what you want about the tight end. You can call that a wash if you need to. They got to worry about Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? You stop the run, you worry about JSN. If Sam Darnold's able to beat you with everybody else, then it is what it is, and it's not your day, and you tip your cap and you go about your business. But you can't give up 180 rushing yards and then expect Sam Darnold to not have a good game.
Right.
Make this guy be a pumpkin. Make this guy have to win. Make Sam Darnold have to win the game. Don't let Sam Darnold be back there uncomfortable because you can't stop the run and then be like, well, they have all these weapons. And it's like, well, listen, the run game should be easiest to stop. See gap, fill gap. Like, you have a gap assignment. Fill that gap and then, do your job. It's going to be important for the 49ers to do that because really Jackson Smith and Jigba's their only elite playmaker in the passing game.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And I also want to point out that most of Jackson Smith and Jigba's yards came when he was matched against Ronaldo Green or in the slot. And we saw something last week against the Eagles that we haven't really seen. Lenore was traveling. Mike, did you catch that? Lenore was traveling with A.J. Brown.
Absolutely. Yes, he was.
And I
Now,
thought
they
he held
stopped
his
it
own.
later.
Yeah.
They stopped it later, but he started traveling, and I was like, oh, shit, look at him. He's all over the field right now. Like, look at this. So
Yeah.
I think that was preparation. He kept saying going into the Seattle game, I want a shadow. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was
Yeah,
the talk.
yep.
Robert Saleh was asked about it. He was like, can he do it? Yes, but then it puts other players out of position, blah, 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 blah. Right? When you go into the postseason and you're playing with house money, all right, let's take some risks. Let's just see how we do. And if it's not working, we can change it up, right? Or if it is working, we can save some for later, right? That's what the Niners did. So we have no idea how they're going to play him in this game. And one of you guys said it earlier, he's got no touchdowns against Diamador Lenore in 2 games. He has no touchdowns against him in 2 games. So, and the film actually showed that he played him pretty well. So I like that a lot. That's an excellent point.
And it was. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was
you
going to say
got it.
the also just want to throw out there that was Ronaldo Green's first game back from injury, so he was still kind of rusty. I thought he played a much better game Sunday against the Eagles.
And that's why this game is going to be very, very different than Week 18. And Seattle fans are saying, "Oh, we left points on the board and all that." You guys did, right? I'm not going to take anything away from what they say hypothetically. We know what the final score was, right? It was only 13 points, but you guys had a lot of stuff working in your favor. The Niners had their lowest third down conversion of probably the entire season, only 2 for 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hold opposing teams to less than 50%. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we held them against a little less than 50%. They were 6 of 13 in that game, right? But teams don't run and pass for the same amount of yards against the 49ers. As bad as our defense has been all year long, it's usually one or the other that we're getting gashed in, right? Like, this game was extremely balanced for them. The Niners have a lot of things that are going to be different. A lot of things, including a healthy secondary that's ready to go. I think an upgrade at the linebacker position. I think upgrade at the safety position. So this is going to be a very different one here. And then when you, like you guys said, when you have those intelligent, knowing your gap assignment, like Matt was saying, when you have those linebackers back there that say, hey, slide over, that's my gap. Like I'm coming up there, right? That's exactly what you want to see. It's going to be a very, very different game. I can guarantee you this. There won't be a 3rd and 17 rush for 19 yards. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen this week. I guarantee it, right? Like that right there alone is going to change the outcome of games. Yep. We had Seattle in 5 3rd and long positions, and they converted 3 of them. Like that's not normal.
Yeah,
that's not normal. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Now they may give up a 3rd and 19 reception because for some reason, Robert Saleh's defenses are just liable to give up those 3rd and longs in the past. There's a play Sunday against the Eagles where it was like 3rd and 10 and then they got a false start and it was 3rd and 15 and we were joking in the chat. We're like, fuck, now they're more likely to pick it up. What did they get? 14.5 to Devontae Smith. They did the tush push on the next play and picked it up. So I don't know. I think it's really frustrating, but we'll see. I'm half joking. Matt, let's get some predictions. I know you got to head out.
Yeah. I gotta get these kids down. I know you guys are going to finish this off, but real quick, I'll do my offensive defensive player of the week and my final score prediction. I didn't write up a whole little crazy thing this week. I thought about doing it, but we're going to let it rock. Offensive player, I think Brock Purdy has a comeback game. Again, was he semi-efficient against the Seahawks? Yes, but no explosive plays, didn't really threaten them. I think that he's going to try to push the ball outside the numbers and actually get some downfield stuff this week. I know Jacob Cowing is on the questionable list. He might play. If Cowing can go, maybe you use him to go deep down the field. But I think Brock Purdy has a nice game. Again, not a great game against Seattle. A better game against, Philadelphia, but still had the 2 turnovers. I think Brock really cleaned it up here, and it's a throwback to his first ever playoff game. So Brock Purdy, I'm going to say 275 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. Defensive player of the game, I am going to, I feel like I was spot on with West against Philadelphia. I thought he made some plays. I am going to go with Marcus Siegel. I think that he's going to get a pick of Sam Darnold. I think he's going to play well in the running game. I think he's going to take away some of the over-the-top stuff. They're going to be able to bracket Jackson Smith and Jigba on some of the deeper routes, and he's going to make a big impact. I think the 49ers flip the script, make it a Seahawks sandwich with a victory week 1, a loss week 18, and a victory here. I think the 49ers win this game in Seattle 31-21.
Woo! Let's go.
Yep.
There we go, baby. There we go. Incoming Seahawks comments. You think we're going to give up 31? What the hell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They got nothing better to do. It's crappy weather up there. Although, speaking of the weather, the weather's supposed to be clear and almost no wind. So, essentially no wind.
Did you guys see what the weather's supposed to be in Chicago?
Chicago? Yes. It's going to be like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Boy,
Which Matt Stafford is like 1-9 or something like that in his career in those types of conditions.
I put in the chat, the first hit he's going to take, he's going to shatter like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. Just he's going to fall to pieces,
Yeah,
man.
100%. Mike, do you want me to pull up the video? Matt, I know you have to go.
Yeah, I got to go. So I'll
Okay.
see you guys next time. Yeah, so for myself, since I'm going to be the first one leaving, thanks, everybody. And until next time, go Niners.
Take care, brother. Do you want me to pull up that video, Mike?
Yes, please do. Please. Well, while you're doing that, let me go ahead and take care of the super chat here. This is another one from a man, and Scott is on fire tonight, man. I believe this is 1, 2, 3, 4 super chats for Scott, right?
Hell
I'm
yeah.
running out of sounds. I'm running out of sounds to play over here. He says, "Where is the super love?" Talking about the super chats. These boys are better than Netflix, but no free lunch in life. Like, yeah, come on, guys. Like, show the love out there, man. You guys pay all that money for Netflix, and here we are giving you guys exactly what you want to see, exactly what you want to hear, man. Pump those super chats up, man. Shout out to Scott. He's lucky Sean's not here. Sean would be giving him a run for his money. Like, Sean likes this kind of competition. But, you know, you're dodging a bullet tonight, Scott. You are the superstar of the show. So thank you very much for those super chats, man. We do appreciate it, man. But, you know, we don't do it for the super chats. We do it for the passion and the love. Look, oh, my God.
This is the current weather in Chicago. Oh, let's hear the sound of the wind. I can't even make out what's happening here.
What?
Like, how do you play it? Now, it's supposed to calm down a little bit before Sunday night, right, when they play, but it's still supposed to be snowing and windy and cold. I think the low is like 14 degrees or something like that.
It says 19 degrees on Sunday with precipitation and winds 20 miles an hour. Holy smokes. I can't wait. I'm going to be honest with you, though. The Niners are going to get this dub. We're going to win this game. This is going to sound probably weird to everybody. I think I would rather play the Rams.
Really?
I think I would rather play the Rams. I know that doesn't really vibe with like which team is better and all that stuff, right? Like the Rams probably do pose the biggest threat because of how McVay gets into Kyle's head and all that kind of stuff, right? I think I would rather play the Rams, though. I wish I asked this question to Matt before he dipped. But what about you, man? If you had to choose between an NFC Championship game between the Rams or the Bears, which one would you rather take?
You know, when it's time, and I said this a couple weeks ago, I defer to the better quarterback and better coach if there's a tandem. And I got to give it to Caleb and Ben Johnson, but they just haven't done it yet, right? Like the Rams have been there, done that. And for that reason alone, I would want to play Chicago, but you also have to consider the fucking weather. Like, look at that shit. I checked the weather. If they win, the 49ers would go there. It's still supposed to be like 19 degrees next week. It's not supposed to snow, but it's still supposed to be like 19 degrees. I mean, it would be a very difficult environment to go win in. So you take that into consideration as well. It's actually a toss-up. I don't know if there's an easy answer there.
Yeah, it would be an interesting game no matter what. But you know, I know a lot of Niner fans would show up if we could get that game to be out there in LA. You know, they literally do call Levi South. I mean, they said it on the national broadcast. This isn't just some homer shit. Like this is something that has been accepted league wide. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I don't think there's a way that the Niners get a home game other than going to the Super Bowl. So that whole path to the Super Bowl and is there a chance we could get one? We needed the Panthers to win, I believe. No, the Panthers were division winners. We need the Packers to win. Yeah, we need the Packers to win. So that's all gone. And the only way for us to get back to our house is to make it to the Super Bowl. And so one game at a time, though. But it's interesting. I am looking at the chat to see who they prefer to see after we beat Seattle here. So, yeah. There you go. Aldo says, yeah, he'd rather play the Rams. Yeah.
Rams. I say the Bears, even in that weather, just because we saw them go toe for toe. The 49ers clearly can compete, but also, this might sound a little fucked up, but they just lost a couple key guys, right? Like they lost TJ Edwards. I forget who else they lost to injury. I think a lineman maybe. So it helps 49ers. It would if we're dealing with injuries, might as well take advantage of the team that we have to play is dealing with them as well. So
yeah.
But who knows? Who knows?
But we'll see what happens, man. You know, it's up to the football gods here. So that's, we'll see what happens. I did want to take us back to this Seahawks matchup. We've talked about just the week of practice and preparation, how that's going to pay dividends for the Niners. I've talked about how they've had a week off and maybe that offense might be out of rhythm a little bit. You know what I mean? And maybe it won't. What did the Rams do week 1? Do you know? Week.
What do you mean, points wise?
Yeah, week 1.
They've
Rams
had 13 points. Oh, Rams, not Seahawks.
Yeah, they played the Texans and they put up 14 points. Oh wait, not the Rams. Why am I saying Rams? I meant Seahawks.
Seahawks. It was 17-13.
They put up 13. Oh my! Wait. So both times we played Seattle this year, they only put up 13 points.
Correct.
Give me the dub. Give me the dub, baby. You can't fight fate, baby. That's it right there, man. That's what I need to see.
And
right
who is
there,
13? Man. My dad always says lucky number 13.
Purdy.
My dad was
Somebody's got
born on the
the
13th.
graphic up there.
Yep.
I believe with the I and
Right.
the E being Brock 13. Oh, I love that picture, man. I love that picture, bro.
You talked about having a bye going in, rest versus rust. First things first, had this graphic. Teams entering the divisional round after a bye week on a 7 or more game win streak. Anybody other than Tom Brady's Patriots are 0-4. Tom Brady's Patriots were 3-1. Any other team combined were 0-4. It's crazy.
Well, I'm putting it out. I'm ignoring it. I'm doing
Tom
that for
Brady's
my own
Patriots were, it's not like it was like a 4 straight losses. They were mixed in there. It's just you extract who they are and pull it out. So it's not like it's a consecutive 4 straight losses. I just think it's very interesting. The first game was very close. The second game, even with as many people the Niners were missing, was still close. Like it was a 10-point game. Yeah. And I know Seahawks fans will say, we should have scored more. We missed 2 kicks. Yada, yada.
You didn't, though.
The Niners should have scored more, too. They literally threw an interception at like the 3-yard line.
Exactly.
Both teams could have scored more, but there was still a 10-point game. So the fact that this is a 7-point game, and I saw Richard Sherman talking about this, and he's like, a divisional game in the playoffs, and you're giving a team 7 points, like he doesn't buy it at all. He's like, whoever wins this game is going to be by 3 or less.
It's going to be drag out. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think 4. I think 4, not 3. But yeah, I see what he's saying. Like they're 7-point favorites right now. And that's just wild to me, especially considering how close the games have been there. And there's a bunch of. I heard someone say, I probably shouldn't say it, man. I'm going to say it, but I heard someone say that Brock Purdy hasn't lost a game in Seattle.
Correct.
Come on, man.
He's 4-0.
Man. The Niners are a better road team than they are a home team. I don't care what anyone says.
Shanahan hasn't lost a divisional round game.
Come on, bro.
The Seahawks' record over the past 2 seasons is worse at home than it is on the road. And I said this after they won the number 1 seed. And I said, hey, maybe this might work against you guys. Maybe you guys should have wanted to be road dogs. Yeah. I get, obviously, wanting number 1 seed, home field advantage. But they have a better record on the road.
You know what's interesting about that stat you showed? I was begging for a loss before we got to the playoffs. Do you remember that?
You were, and we got it.
And had we won that game, we would have been the 7+ win team with the bye week. Think about that for a second. That's how much I feared the rust aspect versus the rest. Like I sincerely did not like. It's just teams are just too high on themselves and all that stuff. And I'm sure they're going to be telling themselves, "Hey guys, like we got to get out there." They're going to do everything they can to hype themselves up, bro. But it's Sam Darnold. It's the brightest of bright lights. I don't know if Sam Darnold's ever been the starter in a divisional game ever in his life. I don't think he's ever started a playoff game before.
Well, last year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
When they got killed by the Rams.
That's right. That's right. So, like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, this pressure is real. And anyone who doesn't think that it's going to be, like, the Niners have nothing to lose. No one's expecting us to do anything. We can
Again,
only go in there and surprise people.
for the second straight
I like
week.
the Niners as underdogs, bro. Like, give me
Yes.
that. Pump that
Second
shit into
straight
our
week.
veins, baby. Let's
Second
go.
straight week, the Niners, all the pressure's on the opposing team.
Mm-hmm.
All of the pressure. And I get
Yep.
it. Were the Seahawks great this year? Yeah. But it's a first-time playoff game for both Mike McDonald. First-time home playoff game of the divisional round for Sam Darnold. It's a very young team. They have a lot more to prove. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. I like it. All right. Before we get to our predictions and all that, was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Is this? Do we have another super chat?
Another
here?
super from our guy
Let's
Nigel.
go.
How did their run defense fare stats week 1, week 18?
I got it. I got it right here. So the Seahawks rushed for 84 yards versus 180 yards.
100-yard difference.
Yeah, a huge difference there. I mean, wow. Their total yards week 18 was 361. Week 1 it was 230. And this is more like what we're likely to see, right? Still a balanced attack, right? 146 passing yards versus 84 rushing yards. This is more likely what we're going to see. Just something like back down to the norm. Now, what the Niners did in that game, I don't think they're going to do again, right? Like, so we had 119 rushing yards and 265 passing yards. So we were almost at 400 total yards. I don't know that the Niners are going to do that. I don't know that we're going to have almost 400 total yards, right? I see the stats being very similar in this game here. I really do. So
Versus which? I'm sorry, I missed. Similar to what? The first week? The week 1 game?
no, just I think our offensive production is going to be similar.
Okay.
Like the Niners' offensive production versus the Seahawks offense. I think both teams are going to hover around that 320 area. I think both teams are going to hover around that 320 area. But there's no way that they're rushing for another 180 yards on it. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen again. It cannot happen again. There's no way it happens again. So I like that. I like that. There was a very scared Seahawk fan in the chat, and I love it. I love it, man. I mean, he's starting to type in all caps and all that stuff. Like,
This
I
guy?
absolutely love it. Yeah, he is getting so scared over there. He's
El
sitting back and
Jefe.
he's listening. Yeah, I like it. I like it. You're not going to Philly. We already went there, and we already whooped ass,
Right.
and now we're coming to your house, buddy.
You
We're
know,
coming to your house.
like I said, they had a great season. They're talking like they've won like 10 playoff games in the past like 3-4 years. You know what I mean? Like they haven't won a playoff game since what? I was in high school, maybe? How long are we talking? 10 years? 2015 was that the last playoff game they won? 2016? Russell Wilson?
I'll look it up. When was the last time Seattle won a playoff game? Oh, I should probably type NFL. Here we go.
Yeah, suddenly the Eagles' defense sucks, but Seahawks is no joke. They were the number 1 scoring defense since they acquired Jalen Phillips, by the way.
Seattle's playoff history. Here we go. So the last time they won a playoff game, let me see here. LLW. All right, 2019 wild card against the Eagles. 2019 wild card game.
7 years ago.
Yep. And then before that one was 2016.
I have
So-
news for you, El Jefe. There's actually a bigger game than the last regular season game, and it's the playoff game.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
I know you
Yeah,
guys haven't
bank-
been in the playoffs for almost a decade, but
Bank on the Niners bringing back players for the first time. Sorry, Fred Warner's not playing. That was honestly, that was their best hope, that Fred Warner was actually going to play. So this is what my fear was, and I know that Matt and I disagree on whether or not he's slower than what I think he still looks slower and all that. I'm not gonna argue against Matt and he's not here or anything like that. But one of my biggest concerns was they do end up playing him and he re-injures something. Even on the opposite leg, right? Like from the time that he's been compensating all the weight on the one side versus the other and everything, right? And then that like breaks the hearts of the faithful in the stadium, that breaks the hearts of the players on the team. It's like, oh man, we really didn't want him to go down again and all that stuff. I really think it's a blessing in disguise that he's not playing in this game. And so that was their best hope Honestly, I thought if there was anything that could derail the momentum that the Niners are going in with right now, it was that Fred Warner plays and something terrible happens to him. I thought that was their best chance at victory. Now that he's not playing, I have no worries. If someone goes down, we lost George Kittle, and like we talked about, we highlighted it, the very next play, 40-plus yards, right? Like, that's the Niners mentality right now. That play right there encompassed the entire season. Injuries, major injuries. George Kittle goes down. We're going to keep fighting. Like, that's a microcosm of what this entire season has been. We're playing with house money. There is no reason to fear anything. We've got nothing to lose out there. The Seahawks are in for the toughest game of their season, the most important game of their season, and Sam Darnold's never been in this position.
And you know what's crazy, too, is an extremely confident, comfortable team doesn't talk as much as these dudes have been talking. Their fans, their teams. You want to check this shit out? This just screams confident, Mike. This just screams, I know that my team's going to win, and I don't have to do anything about it. Let's see.
I love it. It's like they're trying to hype themselves up. Like they're really trying to get themselves to believe.
Confident?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
This dude paid a witch off of Etsy to hex Brock Purdy on Saturday. Like, and he's calling the Niners weirdos for laughing at this. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy is protected by Jesus Christ. I'm just going to throw out there. Nothing can penetrate that man.
Someone said that to him, and you know what he said? You know what his response was?
What?
My witch is more powerful than your God. Someone legitimately said that to him. I swear to you.
Oh, look. I see somebody saying it.
No, I'm telling you, it's in that thread somewhere. I don't know if you could find it. I don't know how to look through a thread to find. You might have to go to his page and look for his responses or something like that. But like, dude, I'm telling you, I saw him say something along those lines of
I don't doubt it.
But you know why he did that? Because he knows Brock Purdy's record in Seattle.
Yep.
It's fear. It's fear. And they try to mask it with confidence. They don't have that level of confidence that they want you to believe that they do. Yep. They really, really don't. They don't. They're scared, bro. They're calling people in New Orleans for voodoo. They're doing witch doctors, bro. They are scared. Brock Purdy's head can't shrink. It's already small. Like it's not getting any smaller, buddy. Sorry. Right. I saw Beetlejuice too. It's not going to happen, man.
Right. So again, a confident fan base, a confident team doesn't do this. I mean, you had the players coming out in the media. You have their teams doing this. You got their fans hopping in other shows, chats. Like, all right, bro. Like, relax, okay.
Yeah.
If you guys win the playoff game, tip your hat, move on. But until then, you're just kind of chirping. Funny. You're just kind of chirping at you know. Brock Purdy's got more. Juwan Jennings, I think, has more playoff touchdown passes than Sam Darnold does.
Oh my God! Hold on. Now I got to see.
I think so. I mean, I don't think they.
No, you might be right.
Did the Vikings score any last year against the Rams?
Playoff touchdown passes. Here we go. 1.
Oh, so they're tied.
He had 1.
Wait, no, that's not true because Juwan Jennings
has 2. He had one in the Super Bowl also. Yeah. He had one in the Super Bowl also. Yeah. Juwan Jennings is a better quarterback in the.
Oh man.
What?
Excuse me, bitch. Are you fucking kidding me?
Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about.
It's funny. It is funny. I got a ton of respect for Mike McDonald. I think he's a hell of a coach.
He's a great coach. He is. He's a great coach.
The rest of them, I think they're a bunch of bitches. Yeah. So I think the 49ers are going to go out there, line it up, and we'll see who comes out on top. We talked about the Niners defense versus Seahawks offense, Mike. Why don't we flip it around? Niners offense, Seahawks defense. It's clearly where they struggle the most. Week 18, they didn't have Ricky Pearsall. They didn't have Trent Williams. What do you expect? They should both be there. I know you don't think Ricky's going to play. Let's assume he does play. Both of them are there. What do you expect out of this offense?
Yeah, so I expect them to try to do a little bit of clock control and then pick their shots down the field. With Trent out there, there's going to be more time for Brock Purdy, period. Trent Williams improves the next two guys to his right. It's not just better play from him versus Pleasance, right? It's better play from him, the guard, and the center. And not for nothing, when's the last time you let me ask you, who's our starting right tackle?
Kivitz?
Yes. The fact that you hesitated means we haven't screamed his name in a long time. That's kind of my point, right?
Yeah.
The offensive line is not as bad as people think it is. It's not as nearly as bad as people think it is. And that's my point. Like, because if McKivitz was out there playing poorly, we'd be like, oh, God, McKivitz sucks. Here we go again. He's not that bad. He's really, really not.
He's had a better season.
Yeah. Well, he said he was going to be a Pro Bowler. And not for nothing, he
came
probably
close.
could have.
He got all pro votes. Did you see that?
Yes. He
got
all
a
pro
couple
votes.
all pro votes.
Yeah.
That was wild.
And so I mean, kudos to him for being that guy and out there doing it, man. I absolutely loving it. So, you know, this offensive line is going to be improved. We got Trenton out there, and if Pearsall actually goes, now we got somebody that can actually run routes. Like the Seahawks defense, it's going to be in a blender. It's going to be a completely different game plan than what they had going into that game last time we played them, just 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a completely different game plan. And that's something that they have to adjust to, not us. Instead of the Niners calling offensive plays, and this is what my biggest complaint was after that game. The Niners were calling offensive plays, and they were dictated by what Seattle was doing on defense. Not this time. Now we get to dictate to their defense what we're going to do on offense, and they're going to have to react to us. It was the complete opposite. It was the complete opposite last time we played them, and that's the beauty in what we're seeing. Guys went in motion, and their linebackers were flat-footed as fuck, and that was my biggest complaint. Everything that Kyle does to create a yard or two of separation, right, sending juice in motion, and just seeing one of those linebackers slide a little bit to the left, it didn't happen the entire game. They didn't care. That changes now if you get Pearsall and Kyle Juszczyk and Trent Williams out there in that lineup. They have to respect it now because there's a number one wide receiver on the field. It's not a Jawan Jennings. It's not a Kendrick Bourne. It's not a Demarcus Robinson, who, by the way, like,
great
where
game.
was that all year long?
Great game.
Where was that all year long?
The dude had
Holy
almost
shit.
half of his year production. He had 270 yards on the year, and he had 111 Sunday.
Right. Like, where the hell was that all year long? But cool, we got it when we needed it. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting up, and he's got juice. He's got juice, right? Like, that tells me something.
Yep.
That tells me something. If you're going out there with Pearsall healthy and ready, Robinson, and Jawan Jennings, this is a formidable passing group. Just because they're not household names for the national people, we know who they are, and you best believe Seattle knows who they are, and they're going to respect those guys. And that's what it comes down to. I'm really looking forward to it. I think our offense is going to be balanced. I think Christian McCaffrey gets back in his bag. If you look at what they did, so you got to remember, Week 18, no wide receivers for the 49ers. Bodies, yes. Receivers, no. But what did Christian McCaffrey have in Week 1, right? And this is kind of what I'm expecting: 69 yards. Only 3.1 per carry. What did he have Week 18? I can promise you guys it wasn't that good. Week 18, 49ers, it was Christian McCaffrey finished the game with 23 rushing yards, guys.
Right,
2.9
on
a
8
carry.
carries.
Like, come on. You're not going to get that. You're going to get more of what you saw in Week 1. I'm not talking about the results. I'm talking about how the run game is going to be more balanced, right? That we finished the game in total. Come on. We finished the game in total with 120 rushing yards in Week 18. And that obviously wasn't enough. We finished the game with 119 Week 1. Like, so the rushing yards were on par, but we had to really, really split it up. It's going to be different. When you have to respect Christian McCaffrey as a rusher for the 49ers, that game is different.
Yep.
It's very, very different. How we ended up getting 120 yards in Week 18 with McCaffrey only had that 20-something, it's because you had Brock Purdy with 20. Oh, wait a second. Did I read that wrong? Oh, our rushing yards are only 53. I did read it wrong. I read the passing yards. We only had 53 rushing yards.
Right,
We had 120 the first time we played them. That's the difference. That right there is the difference. We talked about how Seattle could run the ball well, and that's why it was a balanced attack, Week 18. the balance is going to be back on our side.
Yep.
I don't know the final score. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go out there and say anything crazy right now, but the balance attack is now restored when you have Trent Williams out there and Ricky Pearsall, because they have to respect Pearsall. They've clearly got to respect what Juwan Jennings is going to do.
Yep.
And the film that was put on from last week with what Robinson can do, they got to respect the pass game now as well. You get Big Trent back out there, the run game is going to be fine. And for those of you saying, "Oh, well, you guys don't have Kittle out there to be an inline blocker as well," the Niners have just as capable blocking tight ends also. Yeah. Don't forget that. They may not have 2-1, right? They may not have 2-1. Tungus, I'm going to give him credit. He's improved as a run blocker, but the pass catching is his specialty, right? But they still have the other guy, Farrell. And Farrell is a hell of a good run blocker.
Yep.
So he's just as good at run blocking as Trent Williams is. I mean, as George Kittle is.
George Kittle.
So that run game is going to be much more balanced here. It's going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah. Mike, am I crazy to say the Eagles have a better secondary than the Seahawks? I think the Eagles have the best slot corner in the game. They have an all-pro on the edge. Reed Blankenship is arguably, a top 5 safety?
It comes down to this.
Marcus Epps is the weak spot for the Eagles, but they have 2 All-Pros and a top player at his position.
Is Tariq Woolen playing in this game?
I believe so, yeah.
Based off of the injury report, I believe the answer is yes. Then, yeah, the Eagles have the better secondary. Yeah. Tariq Woolen is a 100% liability against the Niners. He is 100% a liability against the Niners.
Yep.
So, yes.
I would say Ibn Wari is better than Blankenship, but the corners I don't think are as good as the Eagles corners.
Yeah.
And the 49ers had no problem passing on them. So did they get 2 picks? Yes, but we already talked about those. We thought one was a bad decision. Both were bad decisions. One of them, I think, was Purdy throwing up a prayer to Sky Moore for some reason when he had Juwan Jennings open, and the other one, just Quinyon Mitchell made a good play. Maybe got a little away with a little bit of hold, but that's all right. Okay, so as far as the Niners running game, can we get Brian Robinson involved, Mike? He didn't have any carries Sunday versus the Eagles, and I think his running style may work a little better. Kyle Shanahan likes to run the ball to obviously get it going. Why not use Brian Robinson to get him going? I get you want to get Christian McCaffrey in a rhythm, but it usually takes a bit. Do you think that we'll see him at all?
Yeah. I keep bringing up week 1 just because of the balance aspect of it.
Right.
Just because of the balance. In week 1, I told you guys Christian McCaffrey averaged 3.1 yards a carry, which was better than what he did last time with only 2.8. Brian Robinson averaged 3.7 yards a carry. I do think a fresh Brian Robinson, Christian McCaffrey getting his legs back against the Eagles, that's going to pose a big, big threat. I told you guys, I think the Niners try to play clock control. Keep the ball away from Seattle. That really good defense. We're not saying that Seattle has a bad defense, guys. If anybody out there is hearing that, you're hearing it the wrong way. By no stretch of the imagination are we saying that we think Seattle has an easy defense or anything like that at all. They have statistically the better defense than the Eagles did this year.
Correct.
The Eagles were top 5. Seattle is 1 with a bullet. No, 3? I think Houston is 1 with a bullet. And I believe Denver is right there. They're like neck and neck with Seattle. So if they're not 2, they're 3 or vice versa, right? So they have a really good defense, especially if they can make a team one-dimensional. That's what they're not going to be able to do this week. Yeah. That's what they're not going to be able to do this week, and that's why I like it. So, yes, get Brian Robinson involved, put Christian McCaffrey out there. This may be the week that we've been waiting for all year long. A package with Brian Robinson and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield at the same time.
Yes.
You see Christian McCaffrey go out wide with 2 other wide receivers out there. It's like, oh, shit, now the linebacker has to move, and you got 1 linebacker to beat in the run game. And, boom, it's an 8 or 9 yard carry, right? Like, we finally might see the package we've been looking for all year long. We've been, Kyle, why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done it, Kyle, right? Like, we might actually get that now.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into our predictions and wrap up?
Sure. Let's do it, man. We've crossed the hour and a half mark.
I smell dinner is waiting for me, so. Offensive prediction, Mike. Why don't you take the floor?
All right. Matt came out with a good one, and I was actually going to go with Brock Purdy. I don't know that I picked Brock Purdy to be my offensive player of the game. I was going to do it, but Matt did it, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. I am going to go – I don't think he's going to play, so I can't say him. I'm going to go – I'm going to go with Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
I think that this is going to be a physical game, and I think the most physical player for the 49ers offense – let me rephrase this. I think the most physical player with the most touches is going to be Juwan Jennings. I think Brian Robinson is our most physical player out there. Maybe Juice. Did you see the way Juice lowered his shoulder?
He went all over
So-
Q.
I looked at that play. When he made contact, he went forward another 5 yards after he lowered his shoulder. 5 yards. He just drilled this dude, right? But Juice doesn't get a ton of touches. Brian Robinson is more physical than I think Juwan Jennings is, just because of the nature of their position. But Brian Robinson will probably only get like 8 to 11 touches in this game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go with Juwan Jennings, and that's going to be tone-setting physicality, right? Third downs, another big play by him somewhere down the field. I'm going to go with Juwan Jennings, my player of the game. Give me 7 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. That's it. I'm just going to say one.
All right.
I'm going to say one.
I love it. I love it.
798 and 1.
You know, I wanted to go with Brock as well. Since Matt took Brock, I'm gonna go with Ricky. I'm gonna go with Ricky. And the last time I took Ricky was ahead of the Seahawks game, and come Saturday he was ruled out. I think he's gonna be the opposite this time. I think he's gonna play.
You're going to jinx him twice.
All
You're gonna
reports.
jinx him twice.
No. All reports that he looked good. I'm reversing the jinx. Maybe I should be like that bitch Seahawks fan and call an Etsy witch. I'm kidding. I think that he's going to play. All reports that he's looking much better. Mayoko said he looked closer to 75, not 80% that he looked last time where he could barely fucking move for some reason. I got Ricky Pearsall, and I think he has 6 receptions, 110 yards, and I think he gets a touchdown. I could be wrong. I don't know if he's gotten into the end zone yet this year. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so, right? Because he's missed like half the damn season. So
yeah, I'll look it up really quick.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't. So I think he gets his first touchdown, and he shows how important he is to this 49ers offense, not only for spacing, but just he is that guy when he's there. Yep, that's right. That's
Goose
right.
egg, baby.
So
I like it, man. I like it. You know, now here's why. Last time we played the Seahawks, Week 18, I said Trent Williams, and I said because he's going to improve the player next to him and all that stuff. Remember?
Right.
And then opening play, Trent Williams is going on the pick 6, right?
Well,
and
that was the Bears game, but yeah.
but that I picked
Right,
Trent to be
leading
the
up to it,
guy
yeah.
there. Yeah. So I picked Trent, jinxed him. You picked Pearsall for this one for the Seahawks last time, jinxed him. Let's I like it. Let's reverse those jinxes, baby. This
that's
is
right.
the postseason of
That's right.
overcoming. So I
Yep.
like it. Let's go. I
Yep.
like it.
Let's do it. Overcoming all the doubts.
That's right.
All
That's
right.
right.
Defensive player of the game, Mike.
You should probably go first. I think I'm going to take yours, but I'll go. And if
Is
it's
it
the same
does
person,
it start with E?
yes, it does. All right, so I'm gonna change it up then. Okay, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna go with Alfred Collins.
No.
I
Go
think
ahead. Go ahead. Take Eric Hendricks because I got one.
Okay, yeah, all right, fine. I'm gonna go with Eric Kendricks, man. This guy might be the freshest body we have out there with experience, knows the defense, communicates extremely well, gets everybody lined up in the right spots. And for the first time at the linebacker position this season, I have seen someone improving the person directly next to him. It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen it.
Yep.
So I'm riding that wave there. Give me Eric Kendricks. Give me, fuck it. Let's go something crazy. Let's go 12 tackles. 1 tackle for loss, and a pick.
There you go, baby.
And a pick, baby.
There you go.
And a pick for Eric Kendricks, man. Let's go. He almost got his hands on that very last one.
He
The very
almost
last
did.
play. He was right there.
He did get his hands on it, but it just bounced off. I love that.
So I'm going Kendricks with the 12 tackles and a pick. Let's go.
You know, it's funny because we both are picking newer Niners. Give me Marcus Siegel, baby. I got Marcus Siegel. I think he's going to be the difference in this game compared to Week 18 on the defensive side. His speed makes up for so much. He clearly was. I heard Dante Whitner. He has that new podcast with Patrick Willis and Rod Brooks, the Grit Code, and he was saying how easy it is to check out when, especially as a rookie, when you lose your starting job and you're just out there watching. But he clearly didn't check out. He clearly had been in on it and was taking notes and taking the mental reps. He looked great on Sunday when he had to come in. And I think he gets a pick, Mike. I think maybe a ball gets overthrown. I don't know, but Sam Darnold gives him one. So give me Marquise Siegel. I'm going to say 3 tackles and 1 pick.
Who was Matt's defensive player? Do you remember?
Not Collins.
Oh, C.J. West. He took C.J. West.
C.J. West.
He took C.J. West.
Yeah.
This is the first week, I think, that none of us took a pick by Lenore. Watch it happen. It's been a while.
Let's see.
It's been a while. So
I almost picked him as my player, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I like it, man. Watch it happen now that no one's expecting him to do it. You watch.
Right.
I like
also, I want to shout out Lenore, Green, the secondary as a whole. I think they're going to play well. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I think this linebacking unit is going to look completely different than it looked Week 18. So we'll see. I think Marcus Siegel is like he's a speedster that can also lay the wood. Like that hit that he had on Saquon Barkley that took Saquon out of the game for like 2 drives. I mean, that was a big hit. So he's a very impressive kid. I'm excited to see where he goes.
It's the end of the show, and I'm going to say this, and I'll reiterate. I'm going to do a show tomorrow night, but I'm going to say this really quick. I think our defensive line favors all the quarterbacks remaining in the postseason. I think the defensive line even favored against a guy like Jalen Hurts. Hear me out. If you're getting quick pressure on Jalen Hurts, they cut the field in half. They don't allow him to read. It's more predetermined throws. And I think that's where Jalen Hurts is more successful, right? I think the same for Sam Darnold. I think the same. I think that if they know they have to get rid of the ball quickly, it's predetermined throws. The offensive coordinator is going to be on their dean, and it's going to be quick, short, safe throws. Because our pass rush is a little lacking, those quarterbacks and those coordinators go into the game and they call some more risque type plays. They call some more longer developing plays, right? You don't have to get rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds here. We might have up to 4. And so it gives our secondary more time to close. It gives the defensive line more time to disrupt, and it surprises them, right? If we had one of those really quick, fast pass rushing units, I think there's a chance we could get picked apart, and teams can matriculate themselves down the field. I think every quarterback that's in the postseason right now, minus Matt Stafford, I think you give Matt Stafford too much time, he will pick you apart. He's the only one. The only one. Everybody else, including the AFC teams, everybody else, I think if you give them too much time, they can overthink. And I think that favors the Niners. So I think that we see a really good game by the secondary. I really do. I'm not worried about sacks in this game. I wasn't worried about sacks last game. It's more about the pressures, moving them off their spot.
I agree with you.
The secondary being there.
It's a weird thing to say. I feel like they've come to a comfortability, right? A comfortable spot where they're not expecting to get sacks, but they're still comfortable playing sound defense. They've taken that out of their equation to have a successful defense. They just know, we don't have the talent to get home, even though they still got 2 sacks in Week 18, right? Including one on a goal line drive. But still, they're like, it's all right. We don't need that. We're still able to play the type of defense we want to play. They contain. They don't allow outside scrambles for the most part. And it's actually quite interesting to see how Saleh has adapted. And I'm hoping it doesn't cost us him as our DC because teams are impressed with how he's handling it. But
check this out. And this is to your point, right? Sam Darnold, Week 18, had 9 total rushing yards. I'm just talking rushing yards. And Sam's not a scrambler by any stretch of the imagination, but with a defense that can't get home, he had 9 rushing yards, right? Week 1, he had 14 rushing yards. Okay, let's get to more recent stuff. The Eagles game. I think everybody knows that Jalen Hurts is capable of running the ball, taking off, right? He's a physical guy. Jalen Hurts had 14 rushing yards in that game on 5 attempts, right? It's sound. We're not going to sack you necessarily, but the rushing lanes are going to be gone. That shoelace tackle by Keon White, I'm pretty sure that was Keon White,
was Keon White.
on that last drive, right? Like he had
That probably
a
saved the
ton of
game.
daylight there. Yeah, that was a game-saving tackle right there, right? And then you look at the Bears. Caleb Williams is also a guy that can get out there and run against you if you want him to, right? 18 yards on 5 attempts, right? We're not going to get the sacks, but that whole like these guys trying to take off on you quickly, they only take off quickly if you're getting home quickly. Because we don't get home, nobody's planning to run the ball with their quarterbacks against the Niners. It favors us. It's using your weakness as a strength. So that's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I got.
I agree. All right, Mike. There's only one last thing to do. Score predictions. You want me to go first?
No. I got it. I'm going to go Seattle 20, 49ers 24.
Oh! I think
Seattle
that's
20.
That could be the score I
49ers
predicted
24.
last week for the Niners and Eagles. So, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go Seattle 16, San Francisco 19. I think the Niners win it by 3.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I think the rest, if the Niners can pull this out, I think the rest of them are going to be nail biters down to the end. That's the style of game that they can play.
Yeah.
They have to play. They don't really have an option with the defenses that are left. Maybe the Bears, but play the Bears is going to be in that crazy weather we just saw. So we'll see.
This will be the last low-scoring game you see of the NFC games.
That's true. That is true. I agree with that.
This is going to be the last low-scoring game. The bad weather works both ways. You're going to see defensive touchdowns in bad weather and shit like. This is going to be the last low-scoring game you see.
Yep.
This weekend will be the last low-scoring games of the NFC. Yeah.
And we'll be live, Mike. Will we not? Saturday night. Heard you say you have another show tomorrow night.
I am doing. I'm trying to get Tony on with Nothing But
Okay.
Niners. I want to get his thoughts out. We were going to try to go today, but I was at the hospital with my daughter, so it kind of pushed everything back. But we didn't get a chance to go today. I'm gonna talk to him. We're gonna try to get him on tomorrow. Do some presser breakdowns and things like that, even if he can't go. And I'll dive into some more of my thoughts. So we'll be going live, and then we will be live after the game on Saturday, regardless of where I'm at. I don't know if I'm gonna be at my buddy's house or if I'm gonna be at home. I'll see if they feel like dealing with me screaming during the game. So we'll see what happens.
I'm too
it's gonna be-
superstitious.
It's
I
going to
got
be
to
a fun
sit
one.
on my chair with my jersey, my socks on.
When you got a gut feeling about the game, you don't need to worry about superstitions.
Is there a
That's
gut
right,
feeling?
ladies
Is there
and
a gut
gentlemen.
feeling?
The Niners are winning this one. This
Let's
is a gut
fucking
feeling.
go. Let's go,
Been
baby.
one.
Let's
batting
go.
1,000 on the year. That's predicting wins and losses for the Niners. We are batting 1,000. This gut of mine is feeling good. The Niners are going to win this game, guys.
Let's go,
Bet
baby.
the house.
Let's go.
Bet the house. Let's go.
By the way, I'm trying to see how you pronounce this name. Crido Jojo.
Try to JoJo.
415-3424 Niners. Eddie P.
For
Forward.
three kicks and 4 field goals.
3 kicks, 4 field goals. If the Niners win by double digits, I will buy somebody a Niners jersey in this chat. If the Niners win this game by double digits, we'll give away a 49ers jersey.
Oh, boy.
Flip that. Out of pure elation, out of pure celebration.
Okay.
And don't tell my fiance that because I'm getting married in about 2 months. But we'll keep that between us, chat. We'll keep that between us, all right?
So we'll have to do we'll have to go through and look at all the people that were in the chat and then put their names on a wheel or something and spin it and see who gets it. So
We'll figure something out. But I promise you guys,
Yeah.
we used to do giveaways all the time. It's just been a while. But we have to do something to celebrate. Everybody picked the Eagles last week. Everybody's picking Seattle this week. Let's take care of business in Seattle Saturday night and come back here and celebrate.
Okay.
Mike, let the folks know where to find some premium 49ers content.
You guys already know where it is, man. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. Get your asses over there. Don't be the last one to subscribe, man. $5 tier and up get you the game. Actually, for the postseason, I think I actually only did it for the $1 tier because it's on national television for the most part, right? Is this game national? This isn't like an Amazon or Netflix type
it's
shit,
Fox.
right? Okay. Yeah, Fox. So,
Burkhardt
so
and
you
Brady.
guys, so you come for the commentary. You come for the delay, right? Our only rule is no spoilers. That's it. Keep the spoilers out of the chat, and we're good to go. So you guys come on down, man. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. That's it. That's all.
That's
I
right,
got for you
guys. Go subscribe. You don't want to miss it. And regardless of what happens Saturday, the season is slowly but surely coming to an end. Quickly, I should say. Quickly coming to an end. We have about a month left, actually. I think exactly about a month. Until, unfortunately, the dark period begins. But it is not dark for you guys because we'll be bringing you content multiple times a week, at least once a week. But we try and give you guys shows leading into free agency, the draft, OTAs, training camp, preseason. So you won't miss a single thing 49ers related. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all you guys. We even appreciate you Seahawks fans that are in here. You guys took the time out of your night to come listen to our dumbasses talk. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Mike, can you do us the honors and carry us out?
Yeah, man. Matt already gave his, so I won't speak on behalf of Matt. But this was a lot of fun, and this is going to be an interesting game. And it's been a hell of a season, and hopefully the train does not stop here. But either way, we're going to be coming to you guys live afterwards. We just want everybody to strap in, man. I always tell you guys, prepare for glory, but anticipate pain, man. I don't think there's been a single win that hasn't come with some sort of loss this entire season. So, and it's going to continue. We won last week. We lose George Kittle, right? Like, that's just been the way of the Niners, but we are built for this. There is no team in the entire NFL with more tested depth than what the 49ers have. And I can honestly say that everybody on this roster is ready for this moment. Everybody. Next man up mentality is gone a long time ago. We are the next man up. We are the reserve. So, guys, stay tuned. Stay locked in. If you're watching on Nothing But Niners, make sure you guys subscribe to my guys over here at 49ers Hive as well. Show love to both channels. Please, please, please. We really appreciate it. All right. And that's going to do it for Zach and for myself. We appreciate you guys. And as always, go Niners.